Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is June the 19th, 2019. Strong hand, unconfiscatable. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. Be a unique beast. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Offended by selling. Personal responsibility is a new counterculture. Of course, this is your home for Bitcoin insider information. Everyone in the live chat, I don't have that many topics to talk about tonight. So please ask questions. And you have to type in Bitcoin Meister or I don't see the questions. All right. Remember, follow me on Twitter at TechBalt, TechBalt. Also, this Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and that's 11 a.m. in Los Angeles. We have 3 great guests on the This Week in Bitcoin show. I'm already excited. Bitcoin Tina is going to be on. And who else is going to be on? I have it written down. Who are my other guests? Oh, yeah, David Bennett and Christian will be on. Sometimes I get David's name mixed up. That's why I had to see it written down. David Bennett and Christian will be on with Bitcoin Tina, 2 p.m. on Friday, East Coast time. Remember, this is the best savings account ever devised by man. Yes, long-term thinking, you Bitcoin holders. That's what it is. So today, when I was at a synagogue in the morning, a guy asked me, he's like, hey, did you hear that Facebook is starting their own coin? Because he knows that I have something to do with Bitcoin. So I said, yes, I did hear about that. I actually made a show about that last night. And then another guy said, that's what you're into? The crypto? I said, yeah. So I had a big smile on my face, obviously. And I just thought, the people who know nothing about Bitcoin, this was a news story they heard about. He said he heard about it on Fox News or something. And it's opening people's minds to cryptocurrency and making them ask questions. They asked me questions today. Very, very basic questions, but still, it's an opening. If someone asked you about it today or tomorrow, whenever, this is an opportunity. It's a talking opportunity to say, yeah. The guy asked me if I thought it would do well. I said, yeah, it'll do all right, but Bitcoin is the real one. And he probably didn't even get that. And my point is that all these days that Bitcoin has been going up in price, it's tripled in fiat value. He never asked me about that. Didn't hear about that. He heard about Facebook. He heard about that they had a coin. And so this is waking people up to the insider information that we have. I mean, most people, if they had heard of Bitcoin before, a lot of people probably think it's dead. They had no idea, just tripled in value since the winter. So this is a time to talk about it with newbies. It's a positive opening for us. So I've got it again. If you got a question, type in Bitcoin Meister. Someone says, do you think Libra boost or delays Bitcoin Moon plans? Now, I don't think it really has that effect. Doesn't have an effect on it. It was all baked into the cake. I'd say that before Bitcoin goes really insane, that things like this were going to happen. So this is all part of the plan. That we've known for a while there'd be corporate coins, corporations making their own coins, and big names would get into cryptocurrency. So it's part of the plan. I guess it's not really that big of a shock that it happened in 2019. Maybe they're rushing to get in before the 2020 halving. It only helps, though. It does help get us closer because it is waking up more people to the existence of cryptocurrency. That's what I saw today in that anecdotal example that I just shared. Another question here. Do you think we can possibly be entering the beast system? First of all, you got to be a unique beast and not worry about all those rumors about this is the mark of the beast. This is the mark of the beast. I hear all these people say, oh, it's clearly the mark of the beast. Okay, great. you can believe that. What are you doing? What are you doing if this is the mark of the beast? Are you just crying and screaming and dooming? Or did you buy Bitcoin? You're probably crying and screaming and dooming if you're screaming about mark of the beast. Now, Taval, I'm not saying you're doing this, but I've seen a lot of posts today when people are ripping on Facebook coin or saying good things about it, then you'll just have doomers just say, it's the mark of the beast, it's the mark of the beast. And that's not really productive. But of course, doomers aren't productive. They just like to talk about worst case scenarios and like hope that they happen so that they can say, oh, I was right. There was a worst case scenario. I'm just as broke as I was before. Pound that like button. But you say, do you think we could possibly be entering the beast system in which your buying and selling of goods and services could be stopped with the push of the button? Well, we're already in that system if you opt into it. Yeah, if that system is easily Facebook is making it very easy for all the 80%ers to opt into that system. And this, what's wrong with that? What's wrong if people want to be part of that system? If they want to be monitored and if they can be turned off at the click of a button by a central authority, I mean, that's their personal responsibility. Again, we don't have, so with Bitcoin, why do you need to worry about that? If you're in the Bitcoin system, that's not the system you're in. So yeah, that system is, you could be, I mean, people are already being deplatformed. People are already being kicked off of banks and stuff. There's centralized authorities that are saying you don't fit in. You can't be part of what mainstream normies are in. And so, I mean, if you want to be part of that system, you could follow the rules. It's already out there. I don't follow rules. I'm in the Bitcoin system. I'm in the Bitcoin overlay, and I can just laugh at all the people who worry about, oh, my bank account's going to get turned off. Oh, I can't buy the wrong thing. I can't post the wrong video. But, I mean, if you're in Bitcoin, you don't have to worry about that. So yeah, it's out there, and more power to Facebook to take advantage of all those 80%ers and hopefully wake up some of those 80%ers to the fact that they don't have to be a part of that machine, that fitting in is totally overrated, and you don't need a mortgage from Bank of America to be successful. In order to impress many people, most people, you need to be in debt to Bank of America and Wells Fargo and have a gigantic house and be at their mercy. If you say something wrong, they can turn you off. And again, Facebook is making that very easy with this centralized coin that all these people are going to want to be a part of. And the thing is, I'm talking about it on a pretty high up level there, that people just, I don't understand that. I can't be turned off. I don't say anything wrong. I don't do anything bad. Maybe you don't have anything to worry about. But there's a whole nother level of people who are just like, ooh, Facebook is starting their own coin. I want to get in on this. Facebook's a big corporation. There are people out there that just buy Ripple because they want to be involved with a coin that says it has something to do with a bank. If Ripple can be successful, if Ripple can have all these people blindly buying it, a centralized currency, a centralized digital currency that its main selling point is that it does work with banks and MoneyGram, then Facebook is a much better buy than that. So there are going to be all these people that are Ripplers that have the Rippler mindset. They're going to buy Facebook coin. And it's all ridiculous. I don't know why here in the Bitcoin overlay where we're like, why would you want to even be part of it? Why do you want to opt into this? Well, because some people have seen that Ripple has gone up a lot in value. So they think, even though Facebook is a stable coin, supposedly, well, maybe it'll go up in value. Or maybe I'll get some benefit from it that I just don't know yet. And then there are some people out there who will be confused enough that they'll be like, they're making their own coin now. And thus, this is just like if I would have gotten in on the Facebook IPO that I wasn't allowed to be a part of. There are going to be people that think that, and that might boost the value of this coin, even though it's supposed to be a stable coin, okay? Okay, that's great. If people are that confused and think that this is an IPO type of thing, it's not. But some people will interpret it that way, and that's why they're going to buy it. That's why they're going to want to hold on to it. That's why they're going to want to be a part of it. I made a video back in late 2015 when I was in Auckland, New Zealand, or was it early 2016? It was right around New Year's, where I said buying Bitcoin at $400 is like a Facebook IPO for a regular person. You can look up that video at disruptmeister.com. It is there. Now, the original Facebook IPO back in the day, you had to be a qualified investor in order to get in. There's certain rules in order to get in on like IPOs, and everybody knew the Facebook IPO was happening. Everybody knew the Google IPO was happening. Everybody knew that if you bought it, you would do very well. But regular people who are not qualified investors could not buy it. And we all remember that. Everybody knew that. And I made a video in late 2015 saying that this Bitcoin is the equivalent of that. It's the equivalent of a Facebook IPO that every single person on the planet Earth can be a part of. And I said that in 2015 when it was $400. And I said that for people to get 10 Bitcoin. And I was right. I was absolutely right. And in a sense, that's what Bitcoin still is. Every single person on this planet can get in on this thing like they couldn't get in on the real Facebook IPO. It is still an incredible growth opportunity. Is it as big as the Facebook IPO still? I don't know. I don't make tremendous predictions like all the clickbaiters out there, okay, that say Bitcoin's going to be $1 million in 5 years. I'm not into that, okay? I'm just I'm trying to get as much Bitcoin as possible. But if I got to wake some people up and say it's like a Facebook IPO still, then it's like a Facebook IPO still, okay? It's still insider information. The people that, again, they hear more about this Facebook coin, Libra, whatever it's called, than they do about the price of Bitcoin going up. They know more about Facebook than they know about Bitcoin. So we still have insider information here, okay? So it is, in a sense, it's like it's an insider buying opportunity to get in on Bitcoin. And again, once you get Bitcoin, you get the crypto, you get interest on your Bitcoin if you control your own private key. That's a little known fact too. You get these airdrops and forks, crypto dividends as they're called. So yeah, it's these people thinking that the people who will foolishly be thinking that buying the Libra coin is like a Facebook IPO, when even to this day, buying Bitcoin is much, much more like a Facebook IPO. And definitely in 2015, when I was saying it was like a Facebook IPO, it was much more so then, because again, it was only $400 then. Now it's $9,000. So there is a difference there, but still, value your wealth in Bitcoin. Just try to get as many Bitcoin. Don't worry about the price. And there are people out there. There are people out there that are cheering on the likes of Maxine Waters, who is virtue signaling in the Congress now, saying that she wants to question Facebook and give them a hard time. I want everyone who's cheering on Maxine Waters to take a step back and think about what they're really cheering on then. Bitcoin doesn't need for competitors, for ICOs, for centralized coins to be investigated by the likes of busybodies like Maxine Waters, by sociopaths like Maxine Waters, who like to micromanage every aspect of private individuals' lives. Bitcoin doesn't need that. You don't need that. You don't need to be thinking about that if you're cheering her on. It's cheering on such a horrific person as that because again, you should read what she's saying. Like, ooh, Facebook has done so much bad. They need to take it slow on what they're doing. What right does she have to say what a private corporation does with their product? What right does she have? She said stuff about, their inability to block Russian ads. I mean, this is silliness. She understands nothing. She hasn't gotten her bribe yet, obviously. I understand that. Or she doesn't realize she's gotten her bribe yet. But again, if you guys are thinking, there's some people out there like, oh, it's so good that the Senate, they're going to try to delay the Facebook coin. This is great. Whatever. It might be taking some of the flack that it's distracting some people from Bitcoin, which is great. But Bitcoin doesn't need that. Bitcoin doesn't need it's not a pleasant to glorify people like that, like Maxine Waters is not. It's not ethical. I think it's wrong. I really do think it's wrong, because she's not doing this to help you. She's doing it to grandstand, okay, and to gain more power for herself. This isn't individuals out there don't need their grandmommy looking after them, okay? Grandmommy government, let them fail on their own. Just what I said. If people think it's a freaking IPO, let them learn the hard way what it is, okay? She doesn't have any clue what it is. First of all, pound that like button. But again, and if ICOs are total scams and people are buying, let them learn the hard way. They don't need the government to come in and regulate everything and be the mommy and the daddy. We're grown-ups. We're freaking, even 80%ers are grown-ups, even though they're 80%ers, and they can learn the hard way. So again, think long and hard if you're cheering on the U.S. Senate and the likes of Maxine Waters. Just take a step back and think about your life if you find yourself cheering her on in this situation. Because you don't have to be a fan of Facebook coin or Libra, but you don't have to cry for government regulation on it either, or for the government to to do your dirty work, to destroy it. I mean, that I mentioned this before. I'm into creation and not destruction. There are a bunch of people in this space who are like, oh, let's kill all the altcoins. Let's destroy. Well, I, on the other hand, I like people working on Bitcoin, creating Bitcoin products, creating Bitcoin crypto dividends, creating more and more new stuff. It's more, it's abundance. New stuff is abundance. We should be happy at abundance. But we have people out there who cheer on stunting growth, which is all that government is, which is all that Maxine Waters is the stunting of creativity. And this space, this life that we are given is all about creativity and creation and not destruction. But there are so many people who favor the destructive side of things. And I just want to throw that out there. Again, I've said it in other ways on this show before, but think long and hard about what you're supporting when you're cheering on certain entities and when you're talking about destruction and, oh, I wish this would go away. And I wish, you know what? Things will go away. Things do disappear. You should focus on being productive, getting more Bitcoin for yourself. Everything else will work out fine, I'm sure. Bitcoin Meister, do you think Libra booster? Oh, here, no, that one. Not. Bitcoin Meister, is Coinbase a reasonable on-ramp for new people? How else do you onboard people? I think it's reasonable. Yep. I just tell them to go to Coinbase and get their Bitcoin off of there as soon as possible. That's the other thing. There's a caveat there, okay? It's an easy way to buy Bitcoin. Again, the government's going to know that you own Bitcoin. Okay, there you go. There are other ways for most newbies really don't care about that. Okay, they're gonna, when they sell it, they'll pay their taxes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, if you want to, it's a reasonable on ramp. Now, unreasonable on ramps are really for more experienced people. You do what Tone did. You go to the back alley with a bunch of cash and you buy Bitcoin from some dude you don't know who could have a gun, and you might have to have a gun on you. And I mean, that doesn't seem very reasonable, but you'll get it anonymously that way. But Coinbase is an easy, reasonable way to do it. But again, the caveat is get it off, learn how to move your Bitcoin immediately and how to store it on your Trezor immediately. And so it's not reasonable to store your Bitcoin at Coinbase. That is not reasonable. But to buy it there, yeah. And there are other ways to buy it, Cash App and all these other things that I have never even tried before. But again, I mean, the government's keeping track of that too. So again, it's reasonable. Yeah, that's the long answer there. Sometime Marber says something you and Rush Limbaugh have in common. We're both incredibly overweight. No, only people. I don't know if he's still overweight. Is he? I don't know. Only people who understand what they're talking about can talk about it every single day. There aren't any leftists on talk radio. Interesting point there, Marber. Interesting point. I know Rush Limbaugh used to be a big football fan, and I used to be a big football fan. All right, that's another thing we had in common. I think he probably still is one. Jordan Scott, Bitcoin Meister, who would you rather have dinner with? King of the Trolls or Jim Jones? Oh, definitely King of the Trolls. Definitely King of the Trolls. I don't want to have dinner with a psychopath. I mean, again, I could handle King of the Trolls. I could, we'd have dinner. He's a healthy guy. Maybe we talk about health food and stuff. I don't know. But no, he's a much more normal individual, a much reasonable. He's not a psychopathic liar like Jim Jones probably is. They really are two different. I know people try to compare them because they've been involved with Bcash, one of them, and the other one with BSV, but there's no comparison at all. And I'm no fan of King of the Trolls either, but no comparison at all. So I'd much rather be around King of the Trolls than Jim Jones. Jim Jones is just a pathological liar. It's unbelievable that people believe a word he says. Bitcoin Primitive says, Bitcoin Meister, they are control freaks. I'm sure you're talking about Maxine Waters. Yes, that you must be. Yes, that many of the people in government are. That is just a great word. I'm trying to think of that phrase before. They are control freaks. So yeah, Jordan, Bitcoin Primitive is Marber. And Bitcoin Print, thank you for the questions, guys. Thanks a lot. And thanks for being here. You guys are awesome. All right, remember, type in Bitcoin Meister. It doesn't turn colors unless you type in Bitcoin Meister, and I can't see it otherwise. Okay, so we talked about the opportunity to talk about Bitcoin to newbies because of Facebook Coin puts it out on the table there. And I just, again, I mentioned how, again, if people want to buy Ripple thinking that it's a corporate coin, and again, I'm not vilifying the word corporation, they'll really want to get in a real, a huge, Facebook is a huge corporation, much larger than Ripple, much larger than some banks. So yeah, they would, logically, people who were interested in Ripple for that reason will buy a Facebook coin. But again, Libra, let them learn. Let them learn. We don't need the control freaks to be in charge here and say, oh, you can't do that. Bitcoin Meister, appreciate you being here tonight. I sold a painting for Litecoin earlier today, and all he had on his hot wallet was pretty cool. And you know where that's going. All right, yeah. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Turn that LTC into some BTC. Nick Carter has a good article out there. Now that we live in a post-Libra world, it's as good a time as ever to reflect on the trade-offs involved in cryptocurrency design and why Bitcoin is the way that it is. Some of its most puzzling trade-offs explained. And to me, the five trade-offs that he talks about in this article, they're not puzzling at all to me. They're all about long-term thinking and long-term planning. But a lot of people like to rip on Bitcoin. Well, why can there only be 21 million? There should be more. We should be able. There should be a governance that can change the monetary policy. Again, read his article, and it combats all that FUD. I've already got a strong hand against all that FUD. I mean, that's why I got into Bitcoin. I the limited supply. Come on. And then you could say that you could send it anywhere in the world and no one could stop it. But a lot of people don't get that. And that's why they'll buy a Libra, because they just will be like, oh, a lot of people are using it. Even though Facebook can stop people from using it, and it won't be able to be sent to certain countries, and they'll be able to make as much of it as they want to, still I'll buy it. I'll opt into it. And that's what you got. And I already have Facebook, so why not? They're giving it away for free. Why not? Again, if Facebook gives it away for free and allows you to turn it into Bitcoin immediately. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. But a lot of people are going to like start spending it on their Uber, and then they'll get hooked on it, and then they'll get turned off by Uber one day. We'll see we'll all see the difference between a centralized coin and a decentralized one soon enough. It'll be great. But again, it's waking up a lot of people. And people are talking about the basket. Since it's supposed to be a stable coin, I think Udi in Israel, who I will see soon, I'll be there July 11th until like September 25th in Tel Aviv. But Udi brought up a point that it's got a basket of basket of currencies. It's going to be based off of it. Its stability will be based off of a basket of currencies, whatever that means. And it's obviously it's not as easy to hold them accountable, when it's a basket of currencies. Like, you're not going to know if they have the amount of the amount they say. It makes it more complicated. They don't. If it's based on the dollar, they can say, well, we have $18 million, and you can check it here. You can check it here. We have $18 million. But with a basket, you don't even know what the basket of currencies is. Maybe it changes here and there. Maybe some of it's Bitcoin. So it's going to be harder to tell if it's actually backed up by anything. But at the same time, people already blindly trust Facebook so much with all their private information, they'll blindly trust Facebook that, yeah, one Facebook coin equals exactly what Facebook says it equals. And they will blindly trust it. And so there won't be any need to hold them accountable, I guess, for the people who buy into that. But they are definitely complicating matters, and that helps them kind of dodge accountability. Some of you might remember Adam Kownacki is a boxer in Brooklyn who's of Polish descent. He's got a fight coming out in August against a guy who used to be the title holder, and it's in Brooklyn. And I linked to his Twitter before because he is a huge Bitcoin fan. And if he wins this fight, he will be on track to fight the champion of the world, whose name is Deontay Wilder. And that will be a huge, and that will be in 2020. If Deontay Wilder will fight Adam Kownacki in 2020, around the halving, in fact. So again, Adam has to win his fight. I guess Deontay has to win his next fight too. And it looks like that would be the biggest marketing matchup they could have. So they would have that in 2020, and it would be huge. We're talking about mainstream knowledge of Bitcoin. Right now, Adam only has like 11,000 Twitter followers, and he's a huge, he's really a huge heavyweight fighter. If he is scheduled to fight Deontay Wilder, he'll become like a household name. Adam Kownacki is like the white George Foreman, basically. So I read that comparison somewhere. And so a fight between white George Foreman and this chiseled Deontay Wilder dude, I mean, that would be a huge event for the 80%ers, for everyone. And Adam will, I hope, will still be talking Bitcoin. And it'll be another way to introduce Bitcoin to the masses right there. So there's a topic you're not going to hear anywhere. So wish Adam well in his August fight. I'm sure we'll give some updates. And if he does get his title shot against Deontay Wilder in 2020 near the halving, that would be quite awesome. Quite a fight. All right. Now, who's this guy? Marber says, dying in your bed years from now, will you be willing to trade your fiat for one chance to come back here and tell the globalists that they may take our gold, but they'll never take our Bitcoin? Well, I don't like to think about dying in my bed years from trade your. Yeah, I don't get that one exactly. I don't care about the globalists. I don't think they even exist, to tell you the truth, dude. Don't worry about globalists. Trust me, man. If you understand that no one can take your Bitcoin, you're in good shape. I'm not about. I'm about living in the present and telling people right now Bitcoin is unconfiscatable and gold is not. And if the government wants to take your gold, they could. If Peter Schiff came to your house, he could just dig in your yard and take your gold if he wanted. So yeah, it is a truly unconfiscatable asset that you can take across borders, and it is a newfangled savings account. All right. Now we're done with the Bitcoin cryptocurrency aspect of the show. Someone just said, "Go Raptors." Okay, the Canadians, you're still. I heard that people got shot during the parade in Toronto, which is reminiscent to what happens in Baltimore when the Ravens won the title. Was it Super Bowl 47 a few years ago? I think someone got killed in Baltimore during the parade. I was at the parade, actually. So, yeah, Toronto, you don't want to go the Baltimore route there. At least no one got killed. But, shootings happen. But, yeah, guys, you hockey fans, I'm sure you're big basketball guys now, all right? Don't waste too much time on that. It is surreal that the NBA title is in Toronto. Whoa. All right. Oh, wait, someone had a legendary on 99 said, Adam Kownacki versus Chris Arreola August 3rd. Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's fighting a former champion, Chris Arreola, August 3rd in Brooklyn. And then Adam versus Deontay in 2020. Hopefully, that's what it looks like. He has to beat. He can't overlook that guy, Chris. He's got it. That'll be great for Bitcoin. We want him to beat Chris so he can fight Deontay. What about the end of life planning? Do you have a plan? Yeah, I got a plan. How will you pass on your keys? I got people. There's all sorts of other Bitcoin meisters out there. I'll leave it at that. So Guy Bennett just sent $5. Thanks, dude. Just a friendly reminder that we are within 5 years of 2 halvings. Oh yeah. Leave Libra to the 80%ers. Exactly. And stick with the unconfiscatable king. Yeah. Pound that like button, Guy Bennett. Thank you. Okay, now we're really done. We're really done with the cryptocurrency aspect of the show. I wanted to bring up something that I kind of got wrong on yesterday's show. At the end of yesterday's show, Crypto Corbett, you're saying we are North, we are the champions. It's so funny. If you're a hardcore Baltimore Oriole fan like I am, we do not like the Blue Jays at all. There was a long history. And I'm not going to get into it, and people shouldn't take those things too seriously. But I mean, the Sky Dome, that's what it used to be called. Okay. I am no fan of the Sky Dome. I'm not going to get into any stories or, but yeah, it's all game and everything. And I do think it's interesting that they won the NBA title, but I'm no fan of the Blue Jays. I couldn't believe it. You go anywhere in Canada, they got Blue Jay hats on. So I assume like this is Canada's basketball team now. I did not, all those years, being in American League East against the Blue Jays, I didn't know that like when they played in Seattle, like so many people came down to cheer them from Vancouver and stuff. I did not know that at all until I was in Vancouver and saw that. And so the things you learn. I mean, American League East has some major. I mean, Toronto that's Canada's team. Then you have Boston and New York, which are these tremendous fan bases. And then you have Baltimore, which and Baltimore is beloved because we had such a winning history. Anyway, people don't want to hear about this. So what I did want to say is I was talking about the that TV show, not Maverick, because my father also liked Maverick, but Rockford, and the Gold Firebird. And I said that if I were to buy a classic Firebird, it would be more than a Tesla. And I'm wrong about that. So I started looking up the prices of classic Firebirds. I was more so thinking like classic Corvettes, and like a Tesla costs like what, $80,000? A Tesla costs quite a lot of money. I don't know between 60 and 100 or 60 and 120,000. I don't even know, to show you how much investigation I've done into that. But you can get a classic Firebird from like 1978 for like $20,000, not that much money. Now, if you wanted the Gold Firebird, from Rockford, like the specific one, that one, I think they have one like in a museum. There's probably a few of them, but I think one's in a museum. That would probably cost you more than a Tesla. But if you were to get, it's a Firebird, it's not a Corvette. So if you were to get a Firebird and had it painted gold and it was from 1978, it would be a lot less than a Tesla. So I was wrong about that yesterday. You can tell I'm thinking about that. I started investigating it a little bit because I really like how that Gold Firebird looks. I think it's kind of cool. I think it would be kind of funny to have one, you know, once I convince myself I can buy like one frivolous thing. When will that be? In 2032? In 2033? Oh, okay, everybody. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with Rockford and the gold Firebird and my father, watch the end of yesterday's show. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. We had a little bit of a Beyond Bitcoin show at the end of today. This is what Saturday's show is all about. Pound that like button. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video, pound that like button, bang that bell button. Thanks a lot, everyone. I'll say hi to you in the chat right now. Look at that shirt, baby.